Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Hope everyone is doing well. I myself had a super boring night at work. Super slow, super boring. I was glad to be done and be off. Good morning, Mr. TC. Hope you're doing well, sir. Looks like everybody else will be popping in soon, hopefully. Or it'll just be me and you. Either way, it'll be fine. Let's see. All right. So, last night, yeah, everybody's running late today. It's all good. Last night, my front pocket, of course, once again, I had that. And in my back pocket, I had my Ware Lucas P. They made a nice little combo together. And I received a couple of things in the mail yesterday that have to do with the fixed blade. So that's kind of cool. I got the brass rod that I'm going to use as the lanyard hole. 10 millimeters outside, 8 millimeters on the inside, so it's a millimeter wall that I can polish up. So I will cut off the right length of that and make that for my lanyard hole. Yeah, it probably will be a while before I stop carrying it. I'm probably going to carry it until I see a scratch, which might be forever. No, I'm not going to carry it that long. I'll get tired of it. I'll have to swap out eventually. Now I can't find a lighter, or my lighter. That stinks. Alright. Found one. That will make the morning go by better. So I got that rod. So that rod will go back here as the lanyard hole. And I got the new Corby screws to match it. And these are bigger, so I will have to re-drill the holes. But these are, they're going to sit on here and match the lanyard hole. They are a little bigger, but that's fine. They're the perfect width. As you can see, they fit right across it and will inset perfectly. So I got the right size this time. And I've got multiples to make multiple knives. So now I've got those, and I've got the pivots for folding knives. Got silver and brass. And then let's see. In the mailbox yesterday, I got a big beast of a knife. And that is the Riot T1000. I've been wanting one of these for a while. I don't know why it took me this long to pick one up, but I finally did get one. Not really my style of knife. It's a little too wild for me, but it does have the blade grind that I like, and it's got that Riot quality, and it's a big oversized knife. Big chunky boy. It does have that secondary lock, which means if you push those in, you can't unlock it. You have to push this forward to get those out of the way, and then you can unlock it. Somebody posted on the Discord that they were unable to do something with this knife one-handed, and I'm curious what that was, because I've been able to do everything except for reverse flick it. Doesn't have enough, that stop pin, not really a thumb stud, and it sits too close to the scales to actually, I don't even think you can flip it. You can't even use it as a regular thumb stud, and you can't get in that hole enough to get enough leverage because of how big the blade is. So it's pretty much flipper only, but it is a big boy. I mean, it makes the Evo look tiny. And you can see the thickness on it. It is a thick boy. Yeah, I can't remember what they said, TC. They said something about they had one and they got rid of it because they couldn't do something, and I'm not sure if it had to do with the lock or I'm not sure what it had to do with. Maybe they will come on here and let me know. I couldn't find the message on the Discord. I think they might have said it in the chat. I'm not positive. Yeah, this thing has great action. I want to take it apart to see how it works. I think there's two little things that run this along the side here that go and push those buttons out, but I'm not positive about that yet. So since this is a morning show, a lot of people get their day started by sitting around and talking knives with us, I thought we would add a new feature every morning. On Wednesdays, when I'm off work, when I leave a note for everybody else that tells them what holidays are today. So I thought every morning, good morning, Waylon. I don't want to get into a bunch of news ever, because that's the reason we come here, is to escape the real world and talk about knives and not really get into like news related stuff. Good morning, mister. But I thought it'd be cool to start off and let y'all know what today is every day. So today is a bunch of things. It's Balloons Around the World Day. It's CD Player Day. It's Homemade Cookie Day. It's International Coffee Day. It's International Day of Old Persons. It's International Music Day. It's International Raccoon Appreciation Day. It's International Walk to School Day. It's Less Than Perfect Day, so that's a perfect day. It's Lincolnshire Day. It's Model T Day. It's National Black Dog Day. It's National Book It Day. It's National Fire Pup Day. It's National Green City Day. It's National Hair Day. It's National Kale Day. It's National Lace Day. It's National Pumpkin Seed Day. It's National Pumpkin Spice Day. It's Random Acts of Poetry Day, and it's World Vegetarian Day. So each day is something, and I always like to leave a note letting them know. It's just a little thing I do on Wednesdays. So when I did it this morning, it made me think about doing it every morning with y'all, just to let you know what today is. Let's see, International Coffee Day. I will drink to that. International Day of Old Persons. I'm not sure exactly what classifies you as old, but... And Less Than Perfect Day. I like that a lot. Seems like there's a lot of Black Dog and Fire Pup Day. That's cool. Kale Day I can do without. Pumpkin Seed Day, And Let's see, Model T Day, that's pretty cool. International Raccoon Appreciation Day. Anyway, it tells you if you want to check out what it's called, checkiday.com. Check a day. And that's the one I use to copy and paste all the little different days into a note for everybody at work on Wednesdays. But you can go to yesterday or the day before and see what all the days are. And some days there's a bunch, and some days there's just a few. So anyway, so that is what today is. Today is also Hump Day and Wednesday, and a great day to talk about knives. I really like this Lucas P. It's growing on me. It's got really good action. Barely fits my hands, but that's okay. I've got it tuned. I've got it and the Evo tuned to about exactly how I like knives. I like it where you just have to barely shake it just a little bit to get it to close. I don't want it to guillotine on me, but I don't want it to fight me either. So I've got both of these tuned. I had to tighten the pivot super tight on this one to get it to act this way because it wants to just drop. But this is kind of like a hydraulic shut. It's kind of like how I like them. So I got both of those tuned really well. And like I said, I would like to take this one apart and see how this lock mechanism works. So at some point we will do that. This one has good action, just about like I like it, but I feel like it could use some oil or a little bit looser. Maybe a little bit less lock bar pressure, something. This thing has some giant screws in it though. It's a beast. I kind of want to see what it looks like next to the Gedon and the Omega, but I don't really know where those are at the moment. I don't really feel like digging around this morning. Got a ton of extra knife boxes acquired this week, so that's kind of cool. I think, well, I thought my Gedons were down here close to me, but they're not. So let me see if I can find them. Y'all know me, I'm always, well, of course, the first bag I grab has got them in there, so we might as well see how they compare to some of the thick Migron boys. Starting with the Omega. So the Omega is that thick, and it is way thicker. I thought it would be, but let's check it out next to like the first generation Arma or the Arma 2 or whatever. I don't know. Kind of weird how they did things. They came out with some and then came out with them again and called them the 2, but not much difference. So yeah, it's a little wider than the original Arma, but I bet it is thinner than the Arma XL. Yep, it is. Pretty close to the Arma XL though. So that means it's pretty close to the Gedon. Put one on each side here. Yeah, it's a little thinner than the Gedon and the Arma XL. And then the Omega makes them all look tiny. And it's pretty close to the original Arma, like I said. But size-wise, it is, fits in right there. It does look good with all those other ones though. Can't ever have enough oversized knives. That is a good lineup of them. Let me see. Let me put this one here because it's closer to the. All right. And then one more of the Migrons that's kind of big is this. See if it's bigger than the T1000. It is very, yep, it looks like it might be a little longer as well. All right. I have got quite a few links to check out today. Let's see here. Why do I have two windows open? Why is... All right. So let me see here. What did I have to talk about? Oh, I had a question really quick. Has anyone gotten one of these Civivis yet? And if so, do you want to sell it to me? Because I really want to try one of those out. It's the Guile from Street Fighter. And I want a lime green one. So I was curious if anybody actually had one, what they thought of it. That was the first thing I had linked. Or one of the things I had linked. Then I had a couple more things linked. This was something I wanted to talk about, which was kind of ironic. But the new Chavez didn't even make it a week before the spring snapped on this guy's knife. You can see the broken spring right there in the picture. That's not a good sign. 6 days of on and off use. He said he's not sure if it's how or how much he fidgets with it, but I don't think knife should break in a week, regardless of how much you're fidgeting with it. So that is kind of disconcerting to see. No, Mr. Scott got one. Yeah, Nick, but regardless of how much he was playing with it, it shouldn't break in a week. Just like we read that article the other day about how he tested the liner lock mechanism, wouldn't fail at 1,000,000 tries, but the other one would only last 100,000. So I don't like that, and I don't like the fact. Yeah, I'm kind of with TC. Kind of don't like the fact that a knife company that normally makes $300 knives pretty regularly decided to make an $80 knife. It always seems to ruin stuff. Yeah, they should at least come with an extra set if they're going to break that easy. All right, next thing I had to show was a nice picture from Knife Porn, which was a picture of this guy's Holt collection. And man, what a nice Holt collection. I would be happy with any one of those knives, much less the other 10. If I just did my count in my head right, I think there's 11 on there. Yeah, he's got some definite bangers. I like Holt knives, as I'm sure we all do. He has, looks like he has used his. Got scratches on that one at least. Yeah. Well, I thought that was a cool picture and a nice collection. Yeah, Nick. They should stick with making $300 knives. All right, so let's see. And in the knife making community, I saw this and thought it was pretty cool. What do y'all think about that? I like it. Morning, Ron Crow. I think that's a super cool idea. Yeah, but Mister, aren't doorknobs supposed to last tens of 20s of years? So should it matter how many times he messed with it in 1 week? I don't know. I'm with something like that. Like, I think they build in planned obsolescence nowadays, and planned obsolescence, it sucks because they could make light bulbs that last forever, but yet they make light bulbs that burn out easily. Thomas Jefferson still has light bulbs in his house that are still burning over 100 years. So if he can have light bulbs that burn over 100 years, we could too, but they add in things like planned obsolescence. Yeah, I agree knives aren't toys, but you can add a fun factor to a knife without making it a toy. This is more nostalgia than anything. I like how they even got the trigger button up there and the little rubber membrane for the flipper tabs. Um, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty cool idea. And then last but not least, I had something somewhat just to voice my opinion, but I think we need more people like this nowadays who don't cater and succumb to everyone's pushy behavior and stand up for themselves. So I don't feel bad about this older grandma lady at all in this here video. And she's being rude and starts hitting at this girl, wanting her to get up and give her a seat. And she kind of gets what she deserves, in my opinion. So she's been picking on this girl, and she starts hitting her with her purse. And this girl just gives her a swift kick to the purse and sits her down and then grabs her bag back. And now Granny's mad. But you go picking on people, and I don't know. A lot of the world would feel, oh, I can't believe she did that to that old lady. Well, the old lady needs to quit sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. But it was kind of a funny kick, too. You can see she catches her right on the bag. Anyway, I just ran across that and thought it was interesting. And she didn't hurt the old lady, so all's well that ends well. This is Sparta. She did give her the Sparta kick. I try to respect people that are older too, but I think that lady was not as old as she was pretending to be. Um, and when people start hitting you with stuff, no, there's no honor in that. But she did stick up for herself and then let herself get picked on, and that old lady was being ornery. I just thought it was funny. Not going to get into the politics of it, but this guy had a cool post too and said, "What does everybody do with their grail knives?" And I thought that was a crazy way to keep your grail knife, but cool. Yeah, I thought that was a super cool way to display your. But that looks like it's been poured into a block of acrylic. I mean, epoxy. So that's pretty wild. Yeah, that's definitely pretty wild. I mean, I could see making something that would hold it like that, but those really do look epoxied in. There's no gaps. Yeah, and I'm sure he caught all kinds of grief from this post. But everybody else answered, put them in my pocket and open packages with them, fidget with them, and accidentally cut themselves. Cleaning underneath your fingernails. I did that with that scalpel knife the other night, and then I stopped because I realized I was using a scalpel instead of a knife. Somebody said ban him for 3 days or a month. Machine Wise posted a sad face kid. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Machine Wise didn't like that. Yeah, it could be a block of ice. You're right. It's either epoxy or ice. Yeah, it probably is ice, now that I look at it. I didn't pay attention to the edges here. Yeah, it's got the edges like ice. That's okay then. For a temporary display. Keep it in your freezer and bust it out and show it to people. I like that Machine Wise post though. What am I even looking at? Oh. Yeah, somebody else said the worst part is how poorly this resin pour was executed. Zoom in on it. Looks like hot the edges. And then somebody said, I thought it was ice at first. Horrible crime scene. So I guess it is epoxy. It's not even well done. The resin looks terrible. Yeah, he caught all kinds of grief from this, which is pretty funny. Yeah, what about this one? I want to go look this up. VC Knives Gen 3 Taki. Let's see. VC Knives Gen 3 Taki. See how much this one. Magna cut. 3-inch blade. Seven and a half inches overall. A weird looking knife. I don't know that I like the weight reduction milling on the outside, and that screw placement in the middle there is very odd too. I don't know why you would throw a screw off in the middle like that. Yeah, I don't know about what I think about the weight reduction milling on the outside. I wish that screw wasn't right in the middle. Like, what is that even for? The blade stop? Like, what is that even doing? Oh, no, it's holding the, probably holding the liner in or something for that crossbar lock mechanism. Huh. All right, then. See what else we got going on today in the Reddit community. Did Christopher, were you the person in the chat in the Discord that said they had one of these T1000s? Or was it Tommy? It was somebody on the Discord said they had one of these, but they really didn't like it because of something about their hand size. And I was curious what the complaint was with it. You know, I'm not going to be able to go much longer without diving into it and taking it apart, though. Let me put up some of these other big boys. Yeah, the Narrows is like that. You're right. Let's see. The Omega goes over here on this side of this case. Let me put up my Miguron. My big boy Migurons. They don't hardly fit in here. I've only got 3 that have to go in here, so the rest of them are in their own case, but these 3 have to go in here. They don't have to, but that's where they live. And like I said, they barely fit. But I got these 3 on this side, and then the other 2 that I just put up are on the other side. The Omega and the other one live over here. Oh yeah, yeah, I got that's a good price. 400 is about the lowest you ever see them. I did a little better on this one, but not much. But yeah, I want to see how this lock works. I'm not really scared. They don't fit in the little slots in the hard cases I've got. That's why they're separate. All my other Migurons are in one of their own cases. Alright, so these don't feel like T8s either. I about stripped that one just then. That was no good. So I guess they're T10s. And the pivot, I think, is even bigger. So let's see what we got here. T10. Yep. That's a T10. Oh, they're all T10s. All right. Well, that's cool. I knew it didn't like that T8 I put in it. All right. Let's see. Where do we start? Doesn't look like too much. It's going to have to be taken apart, so I'm going to start with the body screws, hopefully. Wow, they don't really thread in very much either. Let's see what we got here. There's those three. And I'm guessing the pivot and the thing that holds this button lock panel on, or this little panel, be the last two on this side. Actually doesn't. I'm waiting for something to spring out here, but we will see how it goes. Yep, that little piece comes off separately. Let me try to get it out. Actually, I'm just going to remove the whole side if possible. Doesn't feel possible. Aha, yep. Well, there we go. That was pretty easy. Ooh, there's some springs. Aha. Now I see. There's little... Alright, I still don't get it completely. So, let's see here. Aha, there's a little panel. Now I see. So this is able to slide when this button is out of the way. So this is the part that interacts with the switch on the back of it. There are little springs in that switch right here that are attached, and then there's a little detent pin right there that interfaces with that. Whoops. And then behind this panel here is where the rest of that rod slides. Oh, wow. And you can see it rotates that mechanism. Wow, what a cool little mechanism. That's pretty wild. So it rotates it, and it allows it to unlock or lock to slide in or out. So it interfaces with this button. That's pretty wild. I wouldn't have thought it rotated something, but leave it up to Riot. I don't really want to take this little panel off because I can kind of tell that it's just pushing that piece and pulling it back to rotate it. But super cool. You don't want to lose those little springs, and I'm not even going to take that piece out right now. I don't feel like really having to do surgery to this knife. It does have some kind of internal milling thing milled on the back here. Not sure exactly what that is. That reminds me, I've got something else I'll show y'all here in a minute that if you didn't see on my YouTube page. Let's see. So if I slide it all the way back, it should be in place. And if I put this button in the right way, which is a big part through this way, let's see. Maybe not. Maybe it goes the other way. No, it's got to go that way. Oh, it goes on the other side of the little panel so that it doesn't... Ooh, that little ring just fell out. Oh, no, it didn't. I don't know what I'm thinking. All right. That goes in there. And then this goes over top of it. Somehow. Maybe it goes the other way. All right, so it goes with the little part on the inside. Maybe. Or maybe not. Let me see how it interfaces with this thing. Alright, it's got to be turned a certain way. Now I got it. Alright. Now, if I push that out of the way, it's locked up. It won't go in now. But I still don't have it right. It goes the other way. It goes like this. There's a locating pin on it that slides into that little groove right there. There's actually a couple of them. So now I'm wondering, you got to get both of them. Aha. There we go. There's how it goes. I do believe. Yep. Now, there we go. All right. Think we're about to be back together here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on, or try to. There we go. Think that popped right back into place. We will figure out here in just a second. I'm definitely not scared to take anything apart. I got in, I learned a lot as a kid from doing that. And probably why I'm not scared as an adult to do it. And it is working. So I did get it reassembled correctly. Alright. Start putting these screws back in really quick. Then I will get back to you guys and see what y'all want to talk about this morning. Yeah, super cool mechanism. I didn't realize it had that little rotating. I would have thought it was all just, but it makes sense because you can't get, got to get lateral movement out of a vertical button. So the fact that you push this forward to get those to come out, there's got to be some kind of mechanism that makes that happen. We are back together. Back functioning. Feels about the same as it did. You got to shake it just a little bit. So yeah, make sure the pivot's good and tight, but I think it is. Yeah, it might be too tight. You can't be too tight on this knife. It'll be fine. All right, let me put up my bit here. The reason I still got them all is because I put them back every time. That's a good habit to get into too, is putting your tools up when you're done using them. That way they'll be there next time you need to use them. All right. Well, that was interesting. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me through that. See what y'all want to talk about, or all right. Mitchell, good morning, sir. Robin, good morning, sir. Y'all came in while I had my head down talking. William, good morning, sir. Let's see. Anybody else? Oh, was John here earlier? Oh, no, John popped in too. Good morning, John. Of course, Christopher. If you had a rare knife, morning, Michael. Good morning, Scott, the old welder. If you had an old knife that you wanted to get appraised, where would you take it to get appraised? Antiques Roadshow. No, that is not my final answer. Let's see. I do not know who actually grades and appraises knives. And I got that pivot a little too tight, unfortunately. So, I don't like it. It feels like it's rubbing, and I don't like it. And I guarantee you I can't loosen it by hand. That is for sure, because I got it torqued down pretty good. We're going to go find that out in just a second, Scott. Give me just a second to loosen this pivot. Just a smidge, and we will go figure that out. Or at least try to. What is going on there? All right. I'm sure that fixed it. Didn't even check it. Actually, it probably could have used a little more, but yeah. All right. All right. Need some oil. Centering is good, but it's definitely scratchy right there where it needs some oil. The detent ball. All right. Yeah, I'm about to check that out, Michael. We're about to try to figure that out. Let's see. Online, or actually, pocket knife appraisal. Knife purveyor appraisal services. Collecting custom knives is our passion. Michael Donato will evaluate your knife, a detailed inventory and photographic record of your collection, current market value determination, and exit strategy for your collection, pre-negotiated terms to facilitate smooth sell your knives for your heirs, a letter of intent for your estate planning. There's his phone number if you want to give him a call. Lord, please don't let my wife sell my knives for what I told her I paid for them. That's a great quote. In fact, I'm going to post that in the channel. Lord, please don't let my wife sell my knives for what I told her I paid for them. That is a great quote. So Knife Purveyor seems to do it. Knife appraisal fee for $5 per item. If you have an old pocket knife and you're looking to find the value or date, so I would tell you to go to Arizona Custom Knives, and they're a little pricey. They're a little higher than what the average actual sell price would be. But you said you've got... Oh, you're in Bristol? Yeah, I'm outside of Nashville, Scott the old welder. Heretic Pariah. So I would check Arizona Custom Knives. And the serial number is not going to change the value too awful much on a knife like that. And I don't know what I spelled wrong. What did I spell wrong? Low serial numbers will add a little bit. Yeah, hello, neighbor. I'm actually in Murfreesboro, which is a college town. Middle Tennessee State University is here. If you're in East Tennessee, though, you just need to go to Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Just go by there and get somebody there to tell you what it's worth. But it's not going to be worth but like maybe 10% more because of the lower serial number would be my guess. So like if it's $500 knife, I'd say it's worth $550 instead of $500 for having a low serial number. But that's not what it's worth either because it's lost value because it's used. So if it was brand new with a low serial number, it would be 10%. But I would say I myself would go to Knife Swap on Reddit and see what one sold for. So then you kind of know what a used one is worth. So Heretic Pariah 2 months ago, Candy Cane edition sold, and it doesn't have the price. This Candy Cane edition sold. I don't know why he removed all of his prices. It says N90. Oh, serial number 90. But I don't know why he took out all his prices. Oh, here it is. $380. So they can't delete the way the bot copies it now and updates the post every time that you make a change. It keeps the original post. And every time he edits it, makes a new one. $380. And his was serial number 90. And it was brand new in box, only out for pictures. So I would say you can take that $380 and add another $40, so maybe $420 is what it's worth. Yeah, that's a good idea, Robin. Taking prices from a few different places is good to get a good average. But I myself, Knife Swap is the cheapest of all those. So I usually, like 3 years ago, one sold for $285. The pictures and videos are gone because it was 3 years ago. Actually, looks like maybe, I don't know why my internet's acting crazy. Oh, it's brand new? Alright. Then it's probably worth like the $550 that I said. $550 to $600. It's all about just finding the right buyer for it, really. If it's a $500 new knife, probably 10 to 20% extra for a number 2 serial number. And it really just depends on if you find the guy that really cares about that low number. Here's another one that sold for $485, serial number 13. See you later, Scott. Yeah, so that one's number 13 and it sold for $485. Fuchs, how are you this morning, sir? Go smash that like button. Yeah, you can go on the Apostle P's knife selling page on YouTube. Scott. If y'all don't know about him, Nick seems to know about him, but I'm sure all of y'all know about him. He has a YouTube page where he puts out knife sales. I don't know if he does them weekly or whatever, but he sells knives for people. He's a good guy. You can send it to him, consignment, let him sell it. Yeah, I've never watched the Apostle P, so I really can't say what his prices are like, but I imagine they're probably pretty high. Yeah, Knife Swap is, and then Blade Binge would be my second as far as good prices. And then I would say, what did you said like 4 things. Let me see how I would rank those. Oh yeah, then eBay and then Arizona Custom Knives. Yeah, that's the order I would go in. Knife Swap, Blade Binge, eBay, and then Arizona Custom Knives as far as prices. Oh, every Thursday, Nick? Well, there you go. That's more than I knew. Yeah, that guy's Holt collection is something special. I've got a Heretic Wraith that I would sell. It is a V2, and it is the purple carbon fiber. It is this version. Well, no, it's not. It is this version. With DLC. I've got that knife that I would sell. If anybody is interested in a Heretic. Oh, he isn't that bad at pricing? That's good to hear. This is one that I will probably never use. I got a decent deal on it, so that's why I grabbed it. And it's an integral, kind of. So that's why I grabbed it. It's got a bolster, so I don't really consider it an integral, but all the carbon fiber is one piece. Of course, they don't show a back shot on here, but y'all have seen it before. I like it, but I just don't like automatic knives. It's a great knife. There's nothing wrong with it. And there's tons of people who love automatic knives. I'm just not one of them. Here, I'll grab it. Yeah, and there's nothing. I mean, as far as autos go, it checks all the boxes nicely. It's not like stupid strong opening, but it's not slow either. And the purple looks good on mine, according to what angle you get the light. There's no scratches on it or anything, and it does have that nice integral look on the back there. But yeah, it's got, I mean, it doesn't open slow, but you can close it with one hand. It's got good lockup. I mean, it's a cool knife. The DLC is like a 2-tone. So it's got like a satin finish here and then more of a polished finish up here. Yeah, TC, I know you've liked it since I got it because of the purple. Uh, but yeah, I would sell it. That's for sure. It feels good in hand. It fits my hands well. The jimping feels really good. Wonder if I could hit the button and close it like if I let off the button. I can't let off the button at the same time. Yeah, it probably would look good next to the Evo. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot. Wanted to show y'all really quick. I'm sure most of you already saw it, but I took apart the Evo, and it has a little Easter egg on the inside. It has a little thing that says Soul Shard, and it points to a little dot. And TC said that was from like video games where your weapon absorbs the soul of who you kill. So I guess I'll go with that for now. But I'd like to hear his actual. I mean, I'm sure it's related to that, but I'd like to hear the actual design reason or why he put it on there. I'd like to hear what he says. Yeah, Warcraft. Not sure. It looks a little more dirty inside than I would have wished for a brand new knife that I'd never opened. But it is what it is. In fact, like around this hole here, like I haven't touched this knife. I just got it straight from them. It's got some schmoo around places that I don't really like. I haven't had it anywhere dirty. So I don't know where all that came from, but all right. So we talked about that. Yeah, it's got nice bearings. I'm going to add a little oil to this detent ball if I can see it. Well, where in the heck is the detent ball? Aha. There it is. I didn't want to get oil all over the place that I didn't need it. All right. Put some on the pin and flip the blade over. Yeah, that already feels way better. That's all it needed was a little Earl. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's all it needed. Now it just drops closed. Wow, night and day difference. Now I might want to tighten the pivot a little. That's about perfect. That's like hydraulic closing. All right. Well, I'm glad I put that oil on there. um, yeah, it would be cool to do a custom anno on this, like figure out which parts are the raised areas to do one color. You would have to think out the pattern, but I could see doing like the recessed parts different than the raised areas up here. Like leave that a different color down in there. Do all this flats up here. Leave the lock bar part a different color right there, but do the flats one color. Maybe do those the same to match the... But you'd have to do it with a nice pattern, like leave all these lower flats one color, all these lower areas like down here and along here, and both sides of that one color, and then do all the flats another one, and maybe do this the same color that you do the flats, the little trim piece. Yeah, it's a cool knife. I've been wanting one for a while. I got this one for the cheapest price I've seen them sell for. I got this one for $350. The guy was asking $400, and it had been sitting for a few days, and I just kind of stuck to my $350. So I'm happy with that. I'm pretty sure I can get that back out of it anytime I want to. And that's usually what I try to worry about with knives, is if I think that I can get back what I paid for it. And so far I've done pretty good. That's why I usually try to offer about $20 less every single time. So that builds in my devalue from having it for a little while. Space patinas. Huh. That's interesting, mister. So like burn marks on the front of it where it looks like it went through the atmosphere and make it trail down it a little bit. Yeah, it's 10.8 ounces, Nick. 10.83 or 10.84. I don't remember exactly. I'm going to say 10.83. Uh, 10.84. Yeah, I knew it was going to be. Yeah, it's only 10.8. It's not as heavy as you think it would be. Mister, this knife weighs what you did when you was born? That's pretty sweet. So yeah, so if you weren't here earlier, I got the brass rod. Well, I know y'all weren't because it was just me and TC. I got the 10 millimeter brass rod that I'm going to make the lanyard hole on the fixed blade with. So it will go back here for the lanyard. I'll be putting that hole through the scales today. Before we get to tomorrow, I'll have a bunch more. I'll have this probably put in. And then I also got the new Corby screws to match the brass. So I got these. And I was telling y'all I needed, I got the exact right size that I needed this time though. So they will sit flush perfectly on either side. And the heads on them, these are 6 millimeter heads on the tops of these, and these are 8 millimeter. So they will sit on there like that and look a little look a little different. So this morning before the video started, I ran out to the garage out there, my external garage, and I left one of these front screws in. I took my 4mm bit and put it in the drill press, and then I got it perfectly lined up and got the knife clamped down to where the 4mm bit went right through there. And then I left the knife in place and swapped out and put the 5mm bit that I need to put these in. And I already drilled this back hole. And the good thing about it is I can't get this in there yet. So it's going to be like an exact fit. But they will be 5mm holes instead of 4mm holes. They worked. But what happened, Nick, is they were too long, and when I grinded them down, I ran out of threads. So they're not threaded all the way through. These aren't threaded, and so when I started out with them this long, and I ground them down, they didn't have threads in here. So now the threads don't catch very good. I mean, they worked, but when I decided I was going to put a brass tube in too, I kind of wanted the screws to match the brass tube. And these are the perfect size, so I don't have to grind these down. And if I do have to grind them down just a little bit, they will still have plenty of threads to catch. So that's why I swapped them out. See you later, folks. They would have worked, but they wouldn't have worked as well as and I think this proportion to the handles, I think these will look better on there. Size wise. And these will look good when I swap out to a different color scale. I don't like these Tiffany blue ones. But since it's what came with the challenge kit, I thought I would just finish the knife with them on it. But I would prefer to have something cooler. But now all I got to do is just make sure those holes going through there are 5mm and make these little countersunk parts 8mm instead of 6mm. And they should fit perfect and snug up tight. But yeah, so that was cool. Got those in. I will probably have those installed and the lanyard installed tomorrow when we start on the blade grind. But yes, tomorrow we will be doing the blade grind on this knife. I don't actually know where I seem to have lost my little piece of paper with that knife on it, I think. But the blade grind, yeah, I don't know what I did with it. It evaded me. But it'll only go up about the width of my finger all the way down. And I wish I didn't have misplaced that, because it was cool to be able to look at it next to the knife to see the blade grind. I've got another one somewhere. Aha, is that it? Yeah, there it is. So there we go. So that's the blade grind we're going to put in it. And there's a couple of ways to go about doing the plunge line. So you're able, the reason the guy rounded off his file is because make sure that's aligned good. So the guy in that video we watched, he rounded off the corners of his file, because when you start filing on here, if you don't round it off, then it's going to make a weird square plunge line. So when you round off the side of the edge of the file, then the edge of the file makes that perfect plunge line. But you can also use a round file to just make the plunge line. And so I think that might be what I do, or what we do, is line it up in the jig and just use a round file to make the plunge so that it's good and round on that side of it. And then we'll grind out the other side of it to where only the curved side towards the scales will be perfect. But getting the plunge line is important. So yeah, and I will cut this to length with a hacksaw today and get it. There's already a hole in the blade. Oh yeah, I've got to finish doing the 4 more holes of weight reduction. So I don't know if y'all saw, I don't even think I showed this, but I did finish doing the 4 close to the front all the way up to a 1/4 inch. And I've got 4 more that I've still got to do. But right here, you can see my patch is still working. And I just put that 5mm hole in that one. See, that hole's bigger than the front hole. So this is what I was talking about. But I finished doing the weight reduction on these front 4 holes. But I gotta widen these last 4 out. So those 4 will be that size. Let me get my hand behind it so you can see. So those are the finished size. So I'll make these 4 around that one the same size as those. And then this was my patch I had to make. And like I said this morning, I went and put a 5mm hole in it because that's a 4mm hole. And it had a 4mm hole, but I went ahead and put the 5 in the back one. So these fit through the 4mm holes right there. And the new ones are supposed to have a 5mm hole. So this one moves around right now. And the tolerances are so tight that I couldn't get one of these through, but maybe I can now that I got it apart. Let's see if it'll actually go through. But it said that on the measurements that these were 5mm, and I drilled through this with a 5mm bit. So yeah, you talk about tight, like that is going to fit in there snug, and that's what you want. So I'm going to be real careful about not taking much more of that out. And I'm kind of glad that it was that tight of tolerances. See you later, Ron. But yeah, that'll almost go in there now. But I'll just take it back to the drill press and just very carefully run the drill press in and out a couple of times. But I wanted to leave the scales together, at least attached to that front part. That's why I left the front screw in while I was doing that, so the alignment would stay lined up. So I had this in there like this, and I had the front one cranked down. So I will do that again when I run the drill press in and out. I will have this one in there tightened up again, and I will try to align the scales best I can before I clamp it down. And then I'll just run the drill press through there a few times until I can get this to slide in there, and then we'll be good to go. Then I'll fully put this one in, and I'll do the same thing to the front hole so the alignment stays the same. Nick, we've got to build the forge and everything. So we're going to have to heat treat it ourselves. We're going to try to learn everything about making a knife. So we're going to build a coffee can heat forge. Super easy. Plaster of Paris and sand and water. And a coffee can and a blowtorch. And we'll be good to go. I'm getting excited about getting it finished up and getting that forge built. But thought you were here the day we talked about that, but I guess you weren't. But for those you haven't seen it, all you got to do is take a coffee can. Hold on. Get some sound for y'all.
Go using some fiberboard.
So all you got to do is take a can. You mix up plaster Paris and sand and water all in equal ratios, and that's what he's doing right there. Then he's got just an old Raid can going down the middle of it to make a hole down the middle.
All right.
And then he's just going to pour all this stuff around it and center that can good. And he's going to let it sit up for 10 minutes. And he comes back after 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and the plaster's already starting to set up.
There's where he's at. And then he carefully cleans the back off where he had the can, and he pokes out the can. Actually, he uses a little rod. He pulls the can out. And then you've got the hole all the way through to make your little forge.
Looks pretty good.
So he's got that pipe in the side to stick the blowtorch in. And he's just cleaning it up a little bit here. And he's going to pull that pipe out before it hardens.
A burner.
And all you need is a blowtorch.
This is what I'm going to now.
And he is going to put a little piece of pipe in there to keep it to where he can have the blowtorch on the outside of it.
The wall is so thick. So I'm going to do it in frame. And then it just goes in right like that.
And then he hooks it up to a propane tank. I've got that hose. And then he fires it up. And you can close off the back of it, but you can also leave the back open so you can stick a whole bar or rebar through there and heat up the middle if you want to make a bend on it. So being able to go all the way through is pretty cool. And it only took him 5 minutes to get up to temp. And he gets it up to temp, and he puts a bolt in there. He gets it red hot. And this is 3 minutes after putting the metal in. And the good thing about this Pro Cut is you only have to go up to like 1500 to 1600 degrees to heat treat it. And so we will just keep heating it up, and I will use my little laser thermometer till we get it at the right range. We will check it with a magnet, because you got to go one stage past magnetic on the Pro Cut. And then I will use my little digital thermometer here to check the temp on it. We will get it into range, and we will finish the heat treat on it. And we will take it out, and we will sharpen it. Now, then we'll temper it. And a cool thing about it is you can do it if 400 degrees is tempering. You can do that in a little toaster oven. So we will temper it for an hour, let it sit, temper it again, then we'll sharpen it. Sharpening will be the last thing we do. But if we get the blade grind done, I mean, if I get one side of it done tomorrow on the video, I'll probably finish the other side myself. So that means by like next week, we'll need to have the forge materials gathered up to build the forge, because it'll be time. We're getting closer. Something else that's cool about it is you can quench it with any oil you want to use, including vegetable oil. So Pop's Pro Cut, Knife Steel Nerds is the one who created it, and he talks all about it, but he talks about how easy it is to so here's 1425 heat treat and a 400 degree temper. Here's 1475 with a 400. Here's 1600 with a 400. So anywhere between those, you can get different structures of it. And then, so it's you can do it 1625 to 1675 to max out the toughness, with some cost to wear resistance and edge retention, or 1475 to 1575 for more for better edge retention. But he talks about that you can can't remember where he actually says it. He talks about using the different oils, normalized, quenching, let's see. Oh, there's him using it in a Damascus. Edge retention, cryo, comparison to other steels. Yeah, in a forge, heat to 1 shade brighter after reaching non-magnetic. Quench in oil. Most types are fine. And temper twice for 1 hour each at 300 to 450 to desired hardness. So that's what he recommends. So you go to 1 shade brighter after it's non-magnetic. And it's a steel made for beginners. So that's pretty cool. He says somewhere else about the oil, about how you can use pretty much anything. I don't know where that was. Huh. I don't see that. And trying to see if I can. Yeah, right here it says you can see that the hardness reaches its maximum around 1475 and then does not change above that temperature. If using the anneal, I recommend the microstructure is a bit finer, so this can be dropped even further to 1375. Thus, for heat treating in a forge, you can heat the steel to a shade brighter after reaching non-magnetic, and the steel will fully harden. And it says if you forge and follow the recommended normalizing and annealing procedure, you can even quench from non-magnetic if you wish. So yeah, it should be pretty easy. Hopefully, to get a decent heat treat on it. Anyway. Yeah, I can't wait to do it myself either, mister. Good morning, Pete, if I didn't say that. Tommy, I haven't heard that. Hey, Tommy, I got a question for you. Did you say something in the Discord about the T1000? About you had one or something? And then I will respond to your question or go try to look it up. I haven't heard anything about a Strix from Juful, but it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm trying to remember who said something about the T1000 on the Discord. I thought it might be you, so I've been asking everybody. Let's go back and look and see if we can find any info about Jufull and the Strix. Was that just posted or recently? I haven't paid attention, of course, this morning because of the video. Let's see what it says. Strix. 4 months ago. Let me go to the newest post, or newest. Let's check the comments. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about it. All right, here we go. So it was on this guy's post. There we go. Just to show y'all what Jufull has up next, he says Proteans and Cedars are around 70 days out. But we all know it's probably like 4 to 5 months. And then, oh yeah, he's also got the Norseman at the bottom there showing. And somebody in this comment says something about a Strix. Oh yeah, here's the Norseman. And the Cedar. And evidently the Strix, possibly a Strix, shaking with excitement. Strix? In August, he told me yesterday after I asked for an update. How's the Strix coming along? Everything going well for y'all? Strix likely in August. And that was from Jufull right there. So I guess, yes, I guess it is coming. I'll figure out who that was eventually that said something about the T1000. But it looks like he's late. They're making a bunch of knives right now. Yeah, they're really pumping some knives out. Yeah, I would imagine if he said August, I mean, we're into October now, so it should be pretty soon. This thing is a beast. How's it going this morning, Fred? Whoever said something about, I can't remember what was said, but it was something about maybe with your bigger hands, it won't bother you, but it was almost like he couldn't do something with the knife. Like, I think he couldn't open it one-handed or something is what he said. But I don't know why you couldn't open it one-handed with this giant flipper tab. So maybe that wasn't what was said. Maybe he couldn't unlock it or reach the locks or something. I don't know. When I got it out of the mailbox, I had to look at it for a second because I forgot how they worked. And then I remembered you push up on that to get the locks to pop out. But that rotating mechanism is super cool that we looked at earlier. How it rotates them to push them out. It's pretty wild. I love that blade grind, of course. Y'all know that's one of my favorite. Yes, sir, TC. You can phrase that as a question instead of a command, but I will, of course. You can't reverse flick it, John. These aren't really thumb studs. You can't even regular flick it. These are really just stop pins. They really just sit against the blade. You can't reverse flick it or regular flick it. You just cannot get enough. There's no way to get enough leverage. Yeah, there's no way to regular flick it or reverse flick it. You can't get enough of your finger in there. I mean, I could if I held it weird like that, where I can get my fingernail in there, maybe. Well, I got it once. Yeah, if you hold it, it's all good, TC. But yeah, you just can't get it. Well, I just got it just then. So I guess you can reverse flick it if you get your fingernail caught in that. Just perfect. Man, it's super hard to, though. Yeah, that's maybe what he meant. I don't mind because it's a conversation knife more than anything. I mean, I can't see myself carrying this very often. It's more just a conversation starter and just a, hey, check this out, you know, with the double lock and all that. Like, I mean, it's just a cool piece of machinery. Not machinery, but it's a cool machined piece of metal. All right, now let me go check out what TC said he wanted to look at. Let's see. Guessing it's in the modding channel. Oh, you've redone that a couple times, huh? Yeah, that looks way better than that first one you were working on, TC. Way better. Yeah, those look good, TC. I remember when you first started working on it, you had them kind of rough, but they're looking good now. Are those two other little samples, or what's going on with the other two pieces? Yeah, that looks good, man. Oh, those are samples of the carbon fiber pattern you made with epoxy and shreds. I got you. Yeah, man, looks good. And Waylon did a cool mod on his Shark Cub. He didn't like the way the access was to the back lock, and it didn't work at all, so he made it deeper so he could get his finger in there to it, and now he loves it. So that's what I've tried to tell y'all to do, is take knives that you don't like and make them knives that you love, you know. So he just did a little Dremel mod to this, and now the knife works perfect for him. Knife went from being totally unusable to perfect action. So yeah, that's awesome, Waylon. That's what I try to stress on here is don't give up on a knife just because it's got a couple little things you like when you could possibly fix those. Because you'll turn a knife that you might want to get rid of into one you love. I also wanted to thank Waylon for posting a picture of his I I don't know if you saw what I said, what I commented, but he posted this knife, and so and in case y'all want to, I've made it to where the knife's picture and video channel is only for pictures and videos instead of getting clogged up with a bunch of comments. So you can't talk in here, but you can reply to a certain thread, and let me show y'all how to do that. So if I wanted to quote TC's, if I wanted to talk about this, you can right click on it or long press on it and hit copy message link, and then you can go to like general channel and say whatever you want to say about it, like, hey man, this looks awesome, and post the link. And now you can talk all you want about it, and when you click this link, it'll pop you over to the picture that you're talking about, and it'll highlight it. So I did that in general with Waylon. Oh, by the way, I made that picture of Ed Durbin in Kingpin. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I replaced Woody Harrelson's face with Ed's face. So now we have Ed in Kingpin. We were talking about that last week or something. So yeah, that's Mr. Ed Durbin. And anyway, I put a quote. I said, Waylon, the knife that started it all. And that's this one. And I believe this was the one I sent him, his first titanium knife. And then now he's acquired a bunch of titanium knives. But I appreciated you posting the picture of the one I sent you. Still a cool little knife. I love the milling on it. And I love that you finished the mirror polish on the blade. Yeah, it looks great. One more quick time. If y'all hadn't hit that like button, please do so. It helps the algorithm. And I guess we're going to start winding this one down. We've talked about all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, I put a new link to the latest coupon codes on AliExpress. So go check those out. Those are the working ones right now. Oh, post deleted. Dang. That whole user got deleted. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'll delete that post now. But I was trying to update with the newest AliExpress codes. Aha. Here we go. I will repost this thread in there so y'all will have them. But these are all the codes as of now. And it's nice getting 20 bucks off 159 or 75 off of, yeah, 20 bucks or 15 off of 109 is a really good deal. There's a couple of codes for each one, so. John, I'm terrible. No, I have not told y'all what you won, and I'm not going to tell you what you won. But I've also not sent them out yet either. I'm really slacking this giveaway. And I don't know why. I will try to get them out. Today's my day off. I planned on doing it today. I was going to try to get it done yesterday, but I didn't. But no, John, I have not mentioned what y'all are getting. And I might tell you tomorrow after I get them sent today. Don't be expecting anything special. kind of going to give them in the order of how they won, first, second, and third place. So first place will get a better knife than second place, and will get a better knife than third place. So, but I figure a free knife is a free knife. I'm going to try to pick one that will suit each person appropriately. So I'm not going to send you a knife that I don't think you won't like. Same with Waylon and same with Ed. But I've already sent Ed a bunch of nice knives. He's won multiple giveaways. I sent him a Tucson with Lightning Anno. So, and I sent him he won another one where he won a not a Rockstead, but a Todd Begg Steelcraft Quaking. So now I got to figure out what I'm going to send him. Kind of work down after that. But I think you'll like whatever I send. I hope you do, at least. Anyway, guys, I'm going to enjoy my day off today. Try to get some more stuff done on this fixed blade to get it ready for tomorrow. Get my jig all built. I'm going straight to Lowe's or Home Depot when I get off the stream here to make sure I got all the parts I need to make all that happen tomorrow. I got to buy a couple of clamps and a couple of eye bolts. And I think I'm going to do up my rig pretty good and use some of those threaded inserts that you hammer in instead of doing like some guys do and just thread the eye bolts into straight wood. I'm going to try to make it where it'll last a little longer. So I'm going to buy some of those insert nuts that you put in, insert nuts. But anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for being here and supporting all of us, making friends and talking about knives. We will do it again tomorrow. I did say I was going to add that new segment every morning. I don't like to get into news. I like this being a place where we can get away from what's going on in the world and just talk knives. But I thought I would add in those little holidays every morning. We can just talk about what day it is. Maybe we can pick a topic to discuss each day. Like today happened to be Black Dog Day. So, but yeah, I thought I'd add that in just to get our day started, knowing what day it is. But it's just weird stuff anyway, most of the time. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.